Group D's landscape is incredibly tight. Damwon Kia has already won the group. They're going to finish in first no matter what. The remaining 4 teams are within a single point of each other, scrapping it out for the 3 spots. Team 1 are currently in second place in the group, but they don't play today. So it is almost certain that somebody will surpass them. Who will it be? The team that is currently slated to go home from this group is MIBR. So they go to their map knowing that their run here at the 6th Invitational might come to an end if they are not able to win their own map. That is a ton of pressure. Operator bands now rolling in, and they look quite different to what we saw on Oregon, Nick.
That they do. So, interesting point. MIBR, they chose to ban the IQ at the very first showcasing here on the attack and operator. And then, you gotta wonder, will OXG match by banning out the Valkyrie? Because if they do not, it'll be impossible to find those cameras, or at the very least, be extremely difficult. OXG, they agree. They say, you know what? If there is no IQ, there will be no Valkyrie, and OXG will also take down the Nuke. That's an operator we've seen more and more of, a little bit on Coastline, a little bit on Bank. Multiple teams from multiple regions, they play it, and it just speaks to the, as you said, it's a super big map, and if you can be creeping around, it can be very hard to play around.
There are 2 bomb sites in particular where Nook sees a higher pick rate than normal. Number 1 is on that basement bomb site. A Nook is going to want to spawn by the front of the bank. Somebody will shoot out the camera by garage, and then a Nook can just run down that driveway into the garage component of the map and sit and wait. And especially if there's a drone escort there, not every team will actively hold that part of the map. If you're holding it with a camera, guess what Nook is not going to show up on? So you often need somebody to play in there actively. That forces the defense to adapt to a Nook on the board, because if a team doesn't have a defender playing in garage, you now need to commit a body in there, because a Nook can very easily walk up and surprise you, holding that angle from garage towards the bottom of main stairs, all the way into lockers, and potentially even to the double door, leading into red and vault. So I really like Nook on that site, but there's another bomb site where Nook tends to have a pretty big impact, and that can be on the open area bomb site. And Nook is going to do the same thing. Go through garage, there's no cams down there. Go through server, go up blue, there's no cams in there either. And then at the top of blue stairs, you can sit and hold square stairs and watch the doorway leading into staff area and cafeteria. So the fact that there's no Nook means that you don't need to sit somebody in garage if you don't want. It means you can put a camera up in there if you want, like an evil eye camera, bulletproof. It also means that open area will not have the same level of flexibility for the attackers.
Absolutely true. Key operators that we see right now: Warden from MIBR, Echo from MIBR. Typically when you see a Warden, it's because you want to play server stairs. One of the few ways you can get cleared out is 1, grenades, which we see used so effectively at this event. And of course, flashbangs. The latter, Warden can avoid completely because his gadget, those blue glasses, it will make him immune to any flashbang or flash effect. However, grenades will still do a ton of damage, and that's why you bring out the Wamai. An operator that was banned on Oregon is open now. On the side of OXG, key operator for this basement roam clear will of course be the Jaggle. That is vertical. He 6-picked from the Monty onto Jaggle to try and help with the early roam clear, because again, it's a super big map. It can be so hard to drone out, takes so much time. In MIBR, they respect it. Much like Oregon, we're going to primarily be in the basement on the bomb site itself. We're not going to get too out there.
See, this current setup from MIBR, by the way, ripe for the picking if a Nook was on the board, because you've got an Echo sitting on the Yokai drones inside of garage. If there's a camera up to watch for him, then the Nook can easily swing by that. Anyway, 3 operators who are banned on Oregon are available. You've got a Thatcher, Hibana, and Wamai all on the board if you want to go with them. OXG are not running any of them on attack. As you pointed out, Wamai is available. Rayduct is going to play that operator right away. With Warden sitting on the top of blue stairs, he's in a tough spot to get rid of him, because if he's got a deployable shield in front of him, you got to tackle that obstacle first. His gadgets, those smart glasses, allow him to look through smokes. It allows him to look through flashbangs too, and with the shotgun, which is what he has in his hands, he's designed to play very close range. There's going to be a coordinated effort to pinch him from server down below while also focusing on the doorway away from above. That's why you see MIBR pushed so close to that door inside of CCTV, because they can't allow server control to go in favor of Oxygen.
Yeah, and Redog was playing on that server right now, fell back, very well done by him, because nades are coming out. OXG, they still think he's there, but he's actually on the move, trying to find the angle, but no, so far with the flashbang, it blinds him. No, he runs away. He can still see Warden making good work of the gadgetry, swings out the shotgun, does a huge amount of damage on Jaga, but doesn't find the kill. It's a standstill, 30 seconds, no one's found the pick. OXG will have to run on in, try and find something going for them. Shotgun swings, finds one, it finds a second injure as well. That's the off the board. Reeves finds a third. Kino, as well as Vertical, are the last members alive.
Kino up above, and he knows there's one down by Vault. He'll have to drop, and there's no sets of eyes on him. He doesn't hold access to that diffuser. It's Vertical who does. Lucan is now still holding over top of that hatch. Diffuser needs to be planted. Vertical's in, but it's a perfect lockout from MIBR. Oxygen got too bogged down at the top of square stairs, at the top of blue stairs, and the Warden did exactly what that operator is designed to do. But as much as we want to focus on him, you also have to look again at Raduct's position. You assess that if your Warden is there to waste as much time and utility as possible, eating drones, potentially getting a kill, as we saw the Warden do, you cannot allow OXG to take control of server down below. As fast as OXG got that hatch open, Raduct pushed up to the main door, and he was ready for it. This one, by the way, is extremely interesting.
Oh.
OXG are using their timeout in the second round.
This could be very simple or very complicated. You can argue that perhaps don't want to talk about what happened in that particular round, but honestly, it smiles across Kino's face, so I don't think this tactical timeout is to resolve a problem or a mentality issue at all. It might just be, guys, get back into it. Remember, we don't know exactly what these guys will do. There is no prep work. It's the first time MIBR has played Bank at the 6 Invitationals. Maybe we'll just say, guys, we can do better. Go again. Don't worry about it. But yeah, looking at their faces of OXG, they look relatively happy. Also, Kino typing that keyboard. I think between these tag pauses might be some in-game chatter either between the teams or between members of OXG. We'll say though, on that previous round on basement attack, I'm curious how it came to be that Oxygen did not send a single member into that dirt tunnel. That could have been an easier way to try to pick that apart. They were all on that hatch. Had you walked in from dirt with 2 players perhaps, you would have known server was clear. Then you can flank the Warden because, yeah, you cannot flash him and you didn't really nade him. He swung out and got 2 kills for the choosing of his, and then Reduct found one as well. Or actually, he found an assist, that is. But either way, Lukid, really well played on the server stairs. That is like the one player to look out for. If you played well, you'll get a ton of value. If you played poorly, well, you're just a free kill for your opposing team. You don't want that. We're gonna go upstairs instead, and surprisingly enough, there is no castle on the side of MIBR. That's something that's really uncommon on the top floor defense.
Something happened, by the way, when OXG won map number 1. Do you want to take a guess as to what that is, Nick? I'm setting you up for failure here. It could literally be anything.
It could be 50-50, right?
Every single NA team has made it out of their group. Not a single North American team will be eliminated. None of them. They've all made it.
Wow.
Yes. OXG winning that map means that they cannot finish dead last, so they will at least survive another day. Dark Zero and TSM clinched their spots yesterday, as did Space Station Gaming, and the Sonics did either yesterday evening or today with their victory. I believe it was closer to today when they won. I believe they clinched playoffs with their first map win, but that would need to be something that the admins give us an exact call on. All 5 North American teams will play on Monday. Some of them will be in the upper bracket, some of them will be in the lower bracket. So for those teams that are in the lower bracket, they will be a single win or a single loss away from going home. We'll wait and see if any of the NA teams do finish first in their group, because right now, Liquid will edge out SSG in theirs, Sonics will be edged out by Empire, and I think TSM have at least clinched top 2 in their group. Will they finish first overall? Who knows, but they will be in that upper bracket as far as our math is concerned.
Nice. I will say that's not the greatest thing for my predictions, because I did not expect nor predict every single NA team to be here.
Nick, remind me, which team did you predict to win the entire event?
BDS.
What team was the first team eliminated from SI?
BDS.
Thank you very much. I have no further questions.
Okay. Well, it is what it is. I had no control over that, by the way. I just that was my expectation, my prediction. But then I also gotta say, Parker, BDS weren't really set up for success, right? They had that super unfortunate situation. They had to play with bios. It chalked the mental, just like Kino does with this kill onto Redot on that flyby down on the balcony. That evens back the man count to a 4 versus 4. But value-wise, it's Womai traded for Hibana. That leaves only Kino on the Maverick for the hard breach. Lukid now also makes work of Vertical. That's Jackal off the board. Now, the guns are really falling apart from the side of OXG.
Well, it's certainly a move to take your time out between the first and second round. That is extremely unusual, very quick, and it means that for the remainder of this map, OXG continue to lose or find themselves winning, but then in trouble again, there is no timeout available for them. You don't get a second one when the sides swap.
It's very true, and again, it's extremely... I don't think I've ever seen a timeout
I don't think
early.
I've seen one that fast either. No, and if I have, I certainly don't remember it. That said, talking about fast, action has happened. OXG a bit slow. They are struggling to read this defensive setup from MIBR. That might have been why they called that timeout. They trail in numbers as Kino now gets hit with an adrenal surge, a little bit more HP. He's in, looking for potential intel, falls on the case, just around the corner. There he sees the Maverick, nicely done. Him and Felipox, 2 big kills. Leaving Fox A in a 1v3. Triggered by the Banshee, 5 seconds to go. He's nowhere near the diffuser, and the 3 kills will elude him to the very end. Why bother wasting the clock when you know you're not going to get the kills? That round was over with about 10 seconds left, and MIBR now up 2-0.
Save the KD, you know?
Do it for Siege GG. Do it for the Siege GG stats.
Save the KD, do it for Siege GG. So after the game is over, even if you lose, you still look quite good on that scoreboard. That is actually something that some players care a little bit too much about.
Here's what I would do if I was playing.
What would you do?
If I was on a team that lost, but I still did very well, match finishes, I'd pick up my phone, loosen up my limbs. I'd go on twitter.com, and I would type, when the Siege GG stats came out, I got my kills. And that's it. And then I would close my phone.
I mean,
and walk away.
If you go on Reddit afterwards, you'll see people be like, oh, you know, OXG, they played bad, but this guy played really good. He must be carrying. I'm so tired of watching that. And you get praise. Who doesn't like praise?
I feel like that's the text equivalent of the meme where the guy bites the metal and shakes the bottle of champagne, and then it turns out that he's actually third on the podium. Like, I feel like that's exactly what it is. So, yeah. That said, MIBR, fluidity being the word. Every single time we reference it, you are allowed to take a drink of water.
Yes.
Hydrate. We do not promote anything other than that. Take a drink of water every time we say it, if you'd like. If you're playing any of those games, if you've got a crossword or bingo at home, whatever, blah, 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 congratulations. You're going to hit it a lot of times. The fluidity of MIBR was on display there as well. MIBR on attack has notoriously struggled throughout this entire event to drone. Well, it's Oxygen's turn to experience the same thing. On a map like Bank, you need to be proficient with how you drone in your players. It seems like they keep getting caught off guard with the positioning of MIBR and stumbling and then stalling.
The great thing about Jackal is that it can help you with finding roamers from MIBR, but the Jackal can only be in one position at a time. That means, even with the Jackal on the board, you still need to drone. And now we see Redot getting extremely active, something MIBR did not do on Oregon, denying the injured drones. And look top left of your screen, everybody, we got 6 drones left for OXG. They're slowly losing all their intel. We're only 45 seconds in. MIBR is defending open area for the bomb site, but they extended up above, mostly into janitors and inside of a room we call Trump. That's the room with all the windows that we're now staring at, as Kino's opening up the wall, as it has been left soft from MIBR.
Oh, there's a grenade that goes out in front of Lukid. There's no real damage that's done. And says, just as I say that, by the way, Rayduck takes a bit of a beating. A lot of damage still inside of Janitor. He's got the SMG in hand, but not a lot of munition. It'll run out quickly, and he won't survive more than a single bullet. Lukid's the next one to get softened up. Both of these teams are trading blows back and forth with half of the round to go. Control still being held above by MIBR. This site rotation that they're going with excludes that Teller's Archives bomb site down below. A lot of teams not wanting to go to what they see as the weakest bomb site. A nicely tossed Nitro cell on the Fox A from above. That means that the sledge can do no more renovations inside of CEO office. I guess the CEO, the poor CEO, will cry for, will just have to stand pat with the way it looks right now.
CEO office suffering a lot of damage, both the hammer and the C4. Now Vert, he'll have his turn, but Kino says, hold on a second, I'll have mine first. Gets Philly box, but Luka trades it back. That now means that we're still in favor of MIBR. It's a 4 versus 3, creeping up the basement stairs, trying to get back to site. MIBR, they know they don't have to play the map too hard now because yes, Sledge is off the board, but the Jackal is still up. That means if they're roaming, they will be found because that gadget, it can scan their feetsies.
I really wish you never talked about that operator that way.
Scan.
I know this time you did. Grenade by Laxing goes onto the stairs, and it'll chunk away some HP from ramps, but only a tiny bit. So MIBR can continue to hold this position. It also doesn't really provide much utility or information. Falls a nice swing. MIBR are really feeling these shots, and they'll continue as Raps gets a kill, dodges around the grenade, leaving Yaga up inside of staff room. He'll survey the 4 players drunk from a yokai. And I guess if you're going to be drunk on bank, the staff room is the place to do it. If you're going to die on bank, I'm not sure there's an appropriate place. But OXG finds themselves with their last player dying in that position. And MIBR have completed the perfect cycle as they're up 3-0.
Yeah, this is MIBR's map pick. Again, they have never played it before. OXG are going in completely blind in terms of strategical intel. And it kind of shows. They're not fighting MIBR anywhere on the map. They're barely getting inside the building. When they finally got there, the only thing MIBR did was toss a C4, and that C4 took out Foxy, took out the vertical play, and left OXG with no real direction into their attacking round. The gunplay from MIBR also reigning supreme. They're finding opening pick after opening pick in their favor. And it really doesn't bode well for OXG. Yes, you're attacking on bank, but you gotta get some rounds on the board. Otherwise, once the side swap comes out, you're in for a really bad time because one mistake will cost you the entire map. Now, if you're OXG, that's not too bad because you do have the 3rd map of Cafe, but of course, a 2-0 is better than a 2-1.
We talked about this on Oregon in regards to the overall win rate of defenders and attackers. On Oregon, the defender win rate was 56%, but that didn't stop the attackers from winning more rounds. So we flipped the script on map number 1. Bank is a lot more even. It's a 49% win rate for the defenders, 51% for the attackers. So you effectively, once again, flip a coin and see which side comes out ahead. And the way that it works, because it's a 50% win rate, it doesn't mean that 50% of each side will go to one or another. It could be 6-0, and the defenders could still have a 50% chance of winning every single round. It's just statistically, it ends up working out in their favor. I'm not here to teach you statistics, by the way, but I'm just saying that it is entirely possible that this will still be a relatively balanced map, but break in favor of one side in a specific instance. Right here, right now, MIBR, perfect on defense. They're showing that despite this being an even map, they are very comfortable on it, and that might be why they picked it.
You know, if I went to school, had math lessons, came home, watched the Invitationals, and got more math lessons, I wouldn't be very happy.
Could you imagine walking into math class and I'm standing there in a turtleneck?
I would just walk back, I'd be like, you know what, you shouldn't be here, I don't want to be here, walk out the door, smash it on the way out.
With some of the math that I've done on stream, I'm the one who needs math lessons, not the one who should be teaching them.
In that case, let me tell you, 3-0. That means +3 on the side of MIBR, and they're looking for more. OXG, same approach as before, but again, the opening kill almost goes in favor of the opposing side. Vertical only down to 1 HP. They do have the finger, but nope, it won't matter. You're now down for the count. That means no healing will do you any good, and Laxing also held on to all 3 adrenal searches. Yage might try and see if he's next. He is indeed. That means 2 kills for MIBR, but they found one onto Philippox, so it's all right. But now, once again, same exact pattern from MIBR. They're gonna fall back to side. They got the advantage, they got everything they wanted, and they've killed, well, actually, only 1 drone.
Really impressed with the roaming here yet again, and oh my, that is an unreinforced hatch. Oh, what a shot from Rayduct. They, like I said, they're feeling it. MIBR right now, down in their plums. They're feeling it, Nick. And it's 2 players left for OXG. 1 minute to go. Foxy holds the diffuser. There's opportunity. Rayduct is almost at half HP. Lukid is on a single shot, one shot, as we like to say, or 1 HP. As for OXG, they've still got 3 Adrenal Surges. They've still got 4 nades. They still have 40 seconds to go. You can quite easily flush out a defender and work together. If MIBR are not sharp with their on-site play, there is an opportunity for OXG. But there's nothing to really tell us that MIBR wouldn't be particularly sharp. They've been mighty fine thus far. There's a nade tossed down. It's the second one from Laxing. He'll scoot away. Raps low on HP now too, so the members of MIBR are being chipped away, but there's not a kill to be found for OXG. As I say that, there goes Falls. He was at full HP. Laxing drops, takes the gunfight. What a shot from Laxing! Foxay planting, and Lukid will need to stop it in its tracks. Post-plant, and OXG have amazingly turned this one around, but what a heroic effort from Lukid! 2 huge kills. Find the diffuser. The glory is yours. MIBR 4-0.
Oh my. I gotta say, a back and forth and back and forth. MIBR, they had the discipline, they played on side, but you can argue they almost gave too much space to OXG. Laxing made work of them, dropping the hatch, getting the injuries, didn't use a single Adrenal Surge, it wasn't needed. Lukid though, on that flank, ended up really turning the tide in favor of his team. Laxing, look at this, 1 shot, 2 shot, many shots, Nate came out before that, but Lukid with 1 HP, the last remaining defender finds both kills of that dynamic duo of Laxing and Foxay. OXG does not get the round, it'll be 4-0 for MIBR, frustrating to say the least for OXG, and remember, they've already used their timeout in after that very first round. There's no way back besides just showing up.
That's what I was gonna say. This is the time that you would want to use that timeout.
Yeah.
You would want to call your timeout after that round, that debilitating and soul-crushing of a defeat. Losing control on a flank, getting caught with your pants down in the post plant, the sledge getting off of the bomb site, and then immediately losing out after the diffuser gets planted. That's when you say, man, that round sucked. So what do you want to do? Let's call a timeout. Let's talk to each other. Let's calm our nerves, have Hope step in, be the adult, and say, look, not the end of the world. We're going to sort this out. Here's what we need to do to fix this. But they can't do that because OXG took their timeout after the first round.
In their defense, I guess you can argue that it wasn't the round to win in the first place, right? It was a 2 versus 4, then it became that 2 versus 1. So it was bad for OXG, then it was good for OXG, and then MIBR said, it doesn't matter, we'll just win the round anyway. So you can be happy with the round, you can be kind of sad about the round, but ultimately that was an MIBR round win. But yes, even though that was the case, I still agree with you. The timeout would have been superb. You're down 0-4. You need to claw your way back. You got to find 2 rounds here so the side swap can be played out. Otherwise, it can only really get worse from here. I mean, 5-0, 6-0, then you go on defense, but then 1 round is lost and then you lose the entire map. That's not really ideal.
Oh boy, MIBR are looking mighty fine, I gotta say. And a couple rounds on Oregon were very close. We discussed this. It was a coin toss of a map. Yes, OXG ended up being statistically the better team, but they were both relatively evenly matched. So now to come to bank MIBR's map and see how strong they are on defense is phenomenal. It's very impressive. Now, this is MIBR grabbing early momentum. This could be a very defender-sided bank like we saw with Oregon. So if the side swap, it's completely possible that OXG win 4 or 5 rounds and we go to overtime. Let's not get ahead of ourselves though. It's 1 minute into round number 5. MIBR still have 2 more defenses. A 6-0 is on the table for them. That would be an incredible first half. Almost certainly put OXG underwater and make it so that they do not have enough rounds to come back.
And it just goes to show MIBR, they lost out Oregon and it was a nail bite of a round. Very close, but then you just go, we go next. Round after round after round. Nothing else matters what happened on the previous map. You gotta just take it from the beginning. That's what they've done so far in this round. Remember, they're playing Smoke FMG. They're only playing that solo shotgun of Falls on the mute. He has 5 shotgun shells left to his name. Make that 4. So that shotgun can't do that much damage, but Jog, he can open and kill in favor of OXG. That's Echo off the board as well. Quite a big one as the Yokai drones are now rendered useless.
I mean, the Yokai drones will still be up, so you can still use them, assuming
they're not passive.
That is correct. It is a passive and also active gadget, funny enough. So they can still be used for information, though they are not cloaked anymore, Echo obviously having those changes, so they are much easier to find. Returning fire is MIBR. Raps at the hallway playing that deployable shield. He assesses the situation by square stairs, by square skylight, and he gets the pick on it. Kino will look to hunt him down over the deployable shield. MIBR have grabbed an advantage, immediately removed by Kino. A second follow-up, and Kino's good for it. Now inside of Janitor, while Yaga gets that diffuser down. Rayduct is inside of Lobby, by the way. While all of his team is dead, he's down below. Can't accomplish much. As a Wamai, there's no Nitro Cell, and the diffuser being planted means it's a retake up square stairs for Rayduct. This is a tough position to be in because there's going to be a lot of sets of eyes looking in his direction. The moment that he gets to the top of the stairs, it's over, and it's Kino to do it. He had a huge round. You're going to need a couple more of those. OXG, after 4 rounds of misery, they get on the board.
Yep, that's going to feel very nice. We just spoke about it. They need at least 1 round here to allow for some space once the side swap comes through. Kino had a huge round. They found it. They're now activated. They're on the board. And OXG found kill after kill after kill, leaving the last man standing. Reduct down below with a single impact to his name. Couldn't find much. And the intro here from Kino really made good work of MIBR. It allowed OXG to flood the bomb side, take control, and do what they do best. Plant the diffuser and get very nice, cozy, and comfortable inside the bomb site. That's a CO attack and win. It's not the most difficult thing in the world, but then again, every single round won't be that either. So we're going to open area next. We've been here once before. That time MBR, they won the round. Remember what happened. OXG, they came from Square, worked their way into CEO. They got C4'd on Foxay. That's the sledge off the board. Similar story this time around. Same operator lineup. We're not seeing too many flexes come through. Foxes on sledge, Vertical Jackal, Yogg on the Heartbreach of Ibane, Laxing on the Finger, and Kino on the secondary support of the Maverick. But secondary supports doesn't really just mean that you're supporting, because going 8-4 means you're also gunning for your life. Vertical, on the other hand, he's yet to kind of find his groove on this map, and that's going to be a big question. Can Vertical get inside this match, or this map rather, and really start helping OXG find some rounds? Because basically, you are playing 4v5 in terms of raw fracking power right now.
MIBR in that particular round wasn't roaming as effectively either. OXG assessed where MIBR was, holding their position towards the front lobby portion of the map, and instead targeted the back. It put MIBR in a bit of a precarious position where A, losing your Echo early, that's another player playing near the lobby side of the map, and then, as I said, you render the roam of Rayduct useless because he's down in the main lobby too, waiting, not understanding that there's an immediate plan. And oh wait, hold on a second. Kino had an absolutely fantastic round, and it looks like he's got another 2 with a nade that will sail long distance, go all the way down, and it's just not primed enough. Takes out the deployable shield. Rayduct is still inside of the elevator. He's trapped, but he has a teammate at the top of those stairs in main lobby that might be able to help him out. No, Kino looks the wrong way. The AUG does some significant damage, but Kino gets swung on and Rayduct walks away successfully, while the bodyguard of Rayduct, Lukid, gets dropped by Vertical. Felipox ascends as well on this open area defense for MIBR, with all of the action right now occurring above it.
Really good trade, really good support. Rayduct was stuck inside the elevator, and somehow he's actually the one roamer to somehow get away alive. Lukid falls instead. That was the support. Felipox came up the main stairs as the bodyguard, but now Yogg planning out of nowhere. OXG doing what they do best, but can they figure out where it is? Yes, they do. Felipox sees the head, denies it. 3v3. Yeah, the red pin comes out, but Laxing, oh, he's sharp. He's still got 1 Adrenal Surge to his name. They can do a ton of damage. Heal up your teammates, but no, it's 1 man left. It falls. No Yokais. No impacts, no nothing. He just has to somehow find 3 headshots. But Vertical, being so low, a body shot will do. Finds the first, has to find the second. Nate, that's not cooked. That's going to blow out in a second. Now, no diffuser from the side of OXG. They have to somehow make space or just get the kill. Foxay is the one to do it. And OXG, they get that 4-2 swap that they so desperately needed.
MIBR still have a timeout. They can still settle themselves down, but the sheer force of will of Oxygen to come back in those last 2 rounds and start playing a more comfortable game. And it's Kino that starts it all off. Upstairs, his entry, getting into the most critical component of the 2nd floor, which is that CEO office, and ensuring that the roamers up there holding control of CEO, holding control of conference room, by the elevator, by the main stairs. They are excluded from any action that happens down below in open area. And Kino is successful. It finally seems like OXG got their feet under them when it comes to drone work. They were much sharper in the later portion of this half, and it's not enough to win the half. It's not even enough to tie it. You let MIBR pull out to a pretty big lead, but you've at least settled it down. You've got some confidence going. You might have some momentum. And now with the side swap, if our theory about Bank holds, Oxygen can settle into a half that should work better for them. MIBR on attack might run into the same struggles that we saw earlier on Oregon and yesterday too, where they're not as proficient on droning and they can potentially stall out.
You also got Vert now on the scoreboard. He found his first kill in that previous round, as well as where did these first 2 rounds start for OXG? It was a CEO attack, so where do they go to match it? Well, the CEO defends. Neither team bringing the castles, so every single barricade will be regular, it'll be boring, it'll be bland. It'll all look the same. But that should be alright, because you can make it work regardless. Echo, a stellar pick on Bang, both teams also bringing that out. Also kind of speaks to the fact that yes, IQ is banned, they're more difficult to find even if they aren't cloaked. But also, Valkyrie, not on the board, you cannot pick up that operator. Typically, that's the intel operator you would gain instead. But Echo, with that 1.5x, can become so lethal. We just saw Falls almost clutch out a 1v3. He had a very big task ahead of him, couldn't close it out, but played it quite smartly. Foxay was the person to get the very final kill and get that second round on the board for OXG.
Speaking of OXG, they're doing this with most of their fans being asleep. Same with MIBR, by the way.
Time zones.
It's early morning for both Brazil and North America right now, so good morning. I believe in Portuguese it's bom dia. I believe, is good morning for them as well. So, to those of you that are tuning in to this bash between Oxygen and MIBR, you have missed an absolute show of fireworks. Oregon went all the way to 12 rounds, and now Bank is shaping up to be just as competitive. But the attackers have found their first footing, and they're taking advantage of a bit of disarray from Oxygen, but immediately a counterpunch lands. OXG taking the engagement straight to MIBR, coming out ahead. Raps and Rayduck, the final 2 players from MIBR, with half of the server still alive, half of the round still to go. Plenty of utility left. Raps has Twitch drones, Rayduck has grenades, the case is still in control of MIBR as well, so it's not like they have to worry about retrieving it. So now OXG can take a step back. You know there are only 2 players coming to you. Do not put yourself in a position where working together, Rayduck and Raps can isolate you and punish you.
Yeah, I mean, the same thing from MIBR. They're just going to slow it down. They got all the time in the world, and you already said it. They got diffuser, they got utility. They just got to figure out where are the members of OXG, what corners will they be sitting in. And we see Laxing on the silhouette actually hiding inside the elevator as Laxing does best. That is a classic position for him to be in.
He's lost 1 yokai. I don't know if there's another available for him, but he's not sitting on it waiting right now. Rayduck by the back of square stairs. He breathes in some of that toxic canister, swings up. Kino wins the gunfight. Rayduck can do nothing in return. Raps is in the bomb site, and with the F2, you can make mincemeat of just about any opponent. He does that right onto Kino. Kino, in particular, has been a standout performer over the last couple rounds. Vulnerability for Raps as he gets the diffuser down. He's cloaked amidst the smoke. Vert waits for him to pop up, and there he goes. It's a bait. And 3 in a row for OXG. They're 1 round away from tying up this match.
MIBR being extremely decisive and a complete different version of themselves than that we saw against Na'Vi. They were being slow, they didn't really have a ton of decision making, and they didn't do anything aggressive. The first round of their attack on Bang CEO, they get 2 opening picks, they storm the bomb site, and yeah, they got stopped by Kino, stopped by OXG, Laxing got a double kill, but their decision making, their aggression, their confidence, it's showing, and it's how they got that 7-5 scoreline on Oregon. Sure, they lost it, but it was so close for that reason, and the same exact reason why that their defensive side on Bank was so good, because they're playing the map extremely well. They gotta keep it up, they got more rounds to go, and Laxing goes from one intel operator to another, from Echo to the Pulse, C4 in pocket from him, as well as Vertical, and we're actually seeing the first, I believe, kite pick on Bank so far. Thatcher is open, it has not been played by any means whatsoever. Raps is playing the Twitch, that's the closest you'll get to that. I don't think we'll see Kali much at this event. We did see it a single round one of the previous days, but Twitch and Thatcher, they get to see the most play between those 3 kind of wall deny operators. What is do we have a word for that actually? So you have wall deny, but what's the denier of the wall deny?
Like Thatcher?
Yeah, but what's the term
I don't know,
for it?
utility clearers, I guess? I don't...
No, that's grenade.
I don't know if there's an
Soft breach?
official title for it.
We need an official title. There might be one.
I have no idea if there's an official title, Nick. I
We'll
couldn't
make one
tell
for tomorrow. You know, tonight I'll think about it. Tomorrow,
We
next time.
really don't need to workshop this right
We
now.
will. No, I will tonight. But for now, we focus on the game ahead because we're still in it. There's
Denial
still time to
clear?
go. Denial
I don't know.
Clear? I'll do denial clear. I'll take it. Not a bad beginning, and on the spot, I'll say actually quite impressive choice of words. Laxing will make sure that Yoga's back is clear from lobby side as he can scan array. Foxy playing inside of the closet, I believe, so also kind of supporting Yoga, who's now currently trying to find some ground for his team. He's trying to hold on to open area. We speak about the drone economy. There's 7 drones left, but well,
Whoa.
if you get the opening pick, you can sacrifice a drone or 2. Reduct takes down Yogg, that's an open area player. That means Laxing and Foxy's position are a bit compromised. Sure, Kino's on that server stairs, but once you drone out Foxy inside the janitor's closet, there's no way for him to get out of there. So the question comes, will MIBR drone it or not?
That's what I was just going to say. Once you drone out is a little bit presumptive, is it not? Because presumptuous, because it's a possibility. With MIBR's struggles yesterday being well noted, that they might not be able to drone it out. And they don't even see that there was an Electroclaw that got juggled and it cost them 4x Kairos. So Vertical tosses up the Electroclaw, gets a very strong piece of Hard Breach. Foxy might as well be asleep at the wheel as he waits, but I want to see that kill. How did they know he was in there? Falls just guns him down and say goodbye to Foxy. I don't know if he got droned. I don't know if it was just a reflexive shot through the wall. But that was a brazen gambit from Oxygen. It does not work out. And now MIBR's lead has grown by 2 players.
Yeah, that's pretty much OXG's pocket strat, so to speak, because I think they already landed that. Fox has said, they didn't drone me, guys, I'm going to be safe here. Kino clearly playing on server stairs, making sure if a drone was to come nearby, he could take it out. Now with a minute left, OXG need a different approach, need a different opening. Sure, Laxing can try and use the pulse on that main stairs, try and get information, maybe go for a flank. There is no Nomad on the side of MIBR, but frankly, they don't care about the main stairs. They want servers, much like OXG tried earlier, but they also got the dirt tunnel. They got all the right cards.
I like this. 2 players now trying to pinch Kino. He'll be fighting for his life. Last Toxic Canister looks to be going out. Shotgun Blast immediately turns and pivots, but he has to get to the bomb site as his teammates are falling around him. He outduels the F2 with another nice blast, leaving more on the shoulders of Vertical in a 1v3. And a little bit of calm now. Vertical waiting. He's got lined up on the doorway. Hatches are open over the bomb site. Exothermic charge will go off now as well. MIBR stacked up in this position, but Vertical looking the wrong way. He doesn't know how close they are. He pounces on the Maverick. He flexes over, but he can't outduel Lukid. It was a comeback in the making for OXG, but MIBR shut the door with their first round on attack. They are 2 rounds away from sending us to map number 3.
I will say Kino looking extremely good in this series. It was kind of Yogg on Oregon getting so many opening kills on that Finca, but now on the second map, it's all about Kino. So many kills to his name, 13 after that previous round. Played the server stairs, not with the Warden, but with the smoke. Used the Toxic Babes to basically allow him to fight 1 angle at a time. Found 2 kills and did half the damage onto the 3rd member of MIBR. It's not enough though, because 1 player stepping up is never enough. You need multiple people to work together. That's what MIBR are doing on the rounds they're winning. The drone work is getting better. I mean, Foxy being inside Janitor's closet, it speaks volumes. Had he gotten away with that, I would say OXG could run away with the round, easily getting 1 or 2 extremely free kills. But Falls, I mean, we gotta see the replay at some point. I think either wall panged him or just maybe Foxy peeked, I'm not sure, but I did not see a drone when I was looking, and that saved the round.
Yeah, I honestly want to know what happened because I didn't see it either, and I didn't see the drone go in there. I mean, it could just be one of those things where there's so many things going on the map that we're looking in another direction. This happens actually quite often. If we're focusing on what Smoke is doing, we don't know what the Jaeger is doing. If we're looking and actually spectating the Hibana, we don't necessarily know what the Thatcher is always doing or the Zofia is always doing, whereas somebody might be watching the Zofia and we're not, and they'll pick up on something that we don't see. Unfortunately, we're only gifted with 1 set of eyes, and they are looking in 1 area and 1 area alone. And in this round, it's going to be an open area, Nick.
Are you saying we don't have like 11 monitors in front of us, one from each player point of view, top-down view, side view, all the views?
You're gonna make me do the 6 consoles, dog cam, cat cam. Are you gonna make me do that again? Because
I think we should reenact it on.
I don't know if I want to do it again. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think
it's funny every time, honestly. But I'm also easy because I laugh at the silliest stuff. You don't gotta get too, cute for me. I'm simple.
You think I'm cute enough for you?
You're cute enough and more, Parker. I feel like that's the term that a lot of people use, that you're let me think of the word. You're like spacious. You fill up space, but in a good way. You always embrace us with your...
It's a terrible thing to say. You
embrace us with your presence. I can always tell when you're in the room, whether you're on your phone, or you're smiling, or grinning. I can always feel it.
Thank you, Nick.
I don't even gotta look behind me. I know if you're behind me on that couch, inside the green.
Thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. All right. This is round number 9, MIBR up 5-3. Their map choice, by the way, Bank has skewed towards the defenders. 3 rounds on attack, and oh my, the defense have another good advantage, with Raps walking in blindly to the main lobby and not droning out the top of the stairs. Yaga has been one of the most consistent performers for OXG throughout this entire event. Today, he has not been on the right side of consistency. He finds his 2nd kill on Bank. He also went negative on Oregon. Yaga not performing up to his level is obviously something that will drag down OXG, as we will say again. Yaga and Laxing are the 2 players on Oxygen who were positive in every single series. Yaga has a lot more kills to get to keep that streak going, as Laxing right now is sitting at dead even and went positive in the previous series.
Absolutely right. And we touched upon it a couple times. You need every member, or as many as possible, to really gather down the troops and make sure that you can all play together. More importantly, everybody pulls their weight. And that's the thing about MIBR. Look at the scoreboard, 9-9-4-5-5. They are quite close indeed. Whereas if you take down Kino from OXG, that's 13 kills off the board. Second person to follow is 6 kills on Laxing. So you can argue there's a bit of a value difference. But Falls, as long as he's alive, I think MIBR could do quite some damage. And of course, they also want to breach open these walls, but they'll be met with a mute jammer. They do have 2 grenades on the side of Lukit. Twitch is off the board, so that cannot be used. They'll open up the wall above, try and toss a nade, and try and work that wall.
Yaga is still watching the main lobby. If there's anybody down there, they will be very quickly walking into his crosshairs. I will say, though, Frost's weapon doesn't have the highest rate of fire. It's a pretty slow pitter-patter. Execute coming in now as smokes are tossed in from Falls, and he gets shredded by Kino, playing by the wall in open area, turning over towards Printer and Rayduct as the next target. Kino so effective, but Felipox has found an opening, and he's in! 2 monstrous kills. A 3rd could be his if somebody from OXG lines up by the doorway. That's Yaga, trying to edge in, and he gets gunned down quite easily. High rate of fire, a drop from Vertical. He can take out Felipox. Diffuser goes down either way. Lukit in a 1v2. In the middle of open area, he's going to wait for them to pop up, playing around the cubicle. It's like a reenactment of the Matrix here. Nick Voxe reascending. He heads in. An angle being held by Lukit. Jiggle peeking. Lukit should be able to win this fight, and he does indeed. MIBR pick up a fateful 6th round, and now sit on match point.
That round is the story of Kino x Felipox. Kino saved the round for OXG, took down Falls with the diffuser through the smoke with no intel, and it looked like it was pretty much done for them. It looked like OXG was going to get their 4th round victory, but then Felipox jumped on in, found one, 180-degree flick in an instant, and took down the key member of OXG on Kino. Then it was Lukit in that 1 versus 2, found both kills. Too easy for him, if you will. He was also that important player on the Warden on that server stairs earlier when MIBR was on the defense. So Lukit clearly playing a very crucial round on both the attack and on the defense. Pretty much getting 2 from MIBR single-handedly. Gonna go back up the stairs. Last time we saw this bomb site, it was indeed an OXG victory. They've won it once on attack, once on defense, and they've also lost it once on attack. So doing okay statistically on this bomb site. Laxing will probably play inside the elevator on top floor again. I think that's a safe assumption because when is Laxing not inside the elevator on top floor defense?
That is correct. Yaga reinforcing the double panels, looking over Lone Office down below. That panel area is affectionately referred to as Kanto, named after your
Kanto
teammate.
spot?
Because you'd put up a shield there. It was when the ACOG was on the MP5 that Echo had. The Yokai drones could cloak, and it was a very powerful spot to be on. You really couldn't be contested from that angle, especially if there was some way, like an ADS was set up, to eat up your grenades and anything that could possibly take down the deployable shield. So, once again, named after Kanto. If you hear us refer to it, that's the wall. It's electrified right now, and Laxing is playing in that elevator, as you speculated, right next to that spot.
He was trying to do the right thing, Parker. He was trying to do the duty of putting down utility, but he also lost his life in the process. The ADS didn't even go down.
A bit late, and the fact that Vertical dies with those gadgets in his pocket is huge. A terrible start for OXG on a crucial round where MIBR will now have 2.5 minutes in a 5v4.
He did put down, I believe, 2 of the 3 ADSs. Yes, he did indeed, but one of them has been EMP'd. As Stature is seeing a round here on Bang as we're on match point in favor of MIBR, and those EMPs will make quick work of this site because the Kaid is brought out, which means one EMP will nullify at least one Kaid Claw for at least those 10-second period. That allows you to then breach the wall. You got both Falls on the Thermite, Phillybox on the Hibana. You have so many different ways to approach this attack, and MIBR, they've shown a very clear-cut strategy for each and every single attack. The last time they attacked top floor, it was a rush. They came from pretty much everywhere. Kino shut it down, Laxing got it down. But now, a different approach is taking it much slower.
Yaga wants a trade back kill. Over by trading in particular. 2 players from MIBR are prone on drones right now. Another grenade could be primed and ready to sail on in. The Yokai drones of Laxing are still up. At least one of them is, as it guides Yaga back into conference and will reposition, spotting a drone that goes over by the double windows, just by that banana railing. Yaga's expecting a play off of those windows, as we talked about. It's a very strong spot to be in. If you as a defender jump out for the kill, you have a long run back to the map and can very easily be isolated and punished for it.
Normally if you jump out, you're just accepting a 1-for-1 trade-off, but when you've already lost the first mana vertical, if you trade, it's 4v3. It's not looking much better. However, you might need to do something because MIBR, they're getting close to execute, smoke comes out, you know it's trouble. Kino has to save the round once again.
And there's the repel, but Kino doing lots of damage in the process. 14 kills, and he'll get a 15th as long as he can secure. Foxay takes it instead with a Nitro Cell. No honor among thieves. Down goes Foxay, and Laxing finds himself on the scoreboard for this round. Heading over towards the area you refer to as Trump. No more Kino, no more smoke. Rayduct has the cross on the Laxing. It's Yaga to keep his team in bank, and Falls to say nice try. GG, go next. That's it for Bank. MIBR make relatively quick work of Oxygen, nowhere near as close as map number 1, and the Brazilians are on the board with a 7-3 victory on map 2.
They want it. They want to go all the way to Cafe, and they want the victory if they can get it. Them getting this map does mean they get at least 1 point on the board. That's going to help them in their standings, and we'll have to see what happens with each and every single game that might affect this bracket because we're so close on points for every single team.
And on the other stream, while you wait for us to come back, I'll ask you to go over and check in on Damwon Kia versus Na'Vi. Spoilers inbound, so you might want to actually just look away because you might be able to read our lips, so just cover your eyes. All right, are you ready? We're going to talk about it. Map number 1 went in favor of Damwon Kia. They are currently up 5-2, I believe was the scoreline that I was last given. And that's terrible for Na'Vi. They need a single map if they want to have a fighting chance of sticking around in this group, because MIBR have now gotten on to 4 points, the same as Team 1 and Na'Vi. Even if MIBR loses, they will still pick up a single point. OXG have clinched a spot moving forward. They can't go home. But now, it's a shootout as Team 1, Na'Vi, and MIBR sit on the same amount of points. What's going to happen here? What's going to happen over there as well? We'll find out in just a couple minutes. We got a break for you, and then we'll be right back. Don't touch your browser.